Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, and last night we went to bed. It was still broad daylight. Everybody's like working on their bikes and talking around us, and I still went right to sleep. I slept so good. But we are up bright and early this morning. Everybody's getting up early today because today's our longest day. Welcome to day 4 of our Ragbrai journey, where we are biking across the great state of Iowa from Nebraska to Wisconsin. So far, we have ridden 181 miles in the span of 3 days. Today will be the most difficult day of the week as we are riding the furthest we have ever ridden before in our lives. Today's distance, 105 miles.
Let's do this.
Day with a 16-mile trek from Emmitsburg to Whittemore. The weather was absolutely beautiful, and because it was still pretty early, most people were pretty quiet, which made for a very peaceful ride. But unfortunately, that quickly came to a halt when we came up on the scene of a pretty serious bike wreck.
We're all stopping. Bike off!
Stopping!
While major bike wrecks are not common for Ragbrai, anytime you are getting tens of thousands of cyclists together, you are bound to have them. It's just a constant reminder that it could happen to anyone at any time and to always put safety first. We are super thankful for the medical team that served the ride all week.
The road can be slick in the morning because of the dew, and there's a bunch of little gravel all over the road, so if your tire catches one of those, you're going down.
Right now, I am pretty mad at TJ. I have no idea where he is. He just took off and left me, and there's been 2 stops. This might be him. There's been 2 stops, and I have no idea if he's at those or not. Oh, finally, this is him, stopped on the side of the road.
All right, we're about a little over 16 miles from the first town. Nice little warm up for maybe getting some good breakfast. So this morning's been kind of tough because the entire time we're about 15 miles in, we've been backtracking. So we turned north yesterday, went up to Emmitsburg, which was kind of out of the way of the route, and we've been backtracking back to the route basically this whole time this morning. And for reference, we met a guy named Joe, talked to him for about 5 miles.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yesterday, and we're just now to the point where we caught up with him. We're getting pretty close to our first stopping town, which is nice.
Okay, on Google Calendar, TJ listed how far apart each town was every day. And then on day 2, we found out that his first town, he put 20 miles, I think, and it was 14 and a half. But all the other ones have been correct. Today, he said town number 1 was 16 miles down the road, and we're 22 miles in.
So the first town was supposed to be at 16 miles. We're now at 20.
We actually might be more like 23 miles in, but somehow my watch got paused earlier. I think I'm about a mile behind.
I guess the towns in Iowa can be so small that you miss them on your bike.
Anyway, it's kind of a bummer because we were really hungry and like ready to eat breakfast at mile 16, but we've been making good time, and hey, we just have more miles done already, so that's nice.
We're rolling into the first town at mile 22 and a half, and I don't think I've ever been so glad to be in one of these little towns than right now. I'm so hungry, and I'm so glad we're here. I don't know where that 16 miles came from. It was 22 and a half. Here we are. Let's get some breakfast.
Once we made it to Whittemore, it was time to experience a proper Ragbrai breakfast, which means waiting in line to wait in line. It was one of these things where you have to like buy a ticket and then you get in line to give them your ticket to get your breakfast. So it's like 2 lines. We've seen this breakfast place at the first town every day, so we really wanted to try it before the week was over.
It took me 30 minutes to get through that line, so I'm gonna have to catch up on the road. Pedal a little faster, pedal a little harder.
They didn't have anything gluten-free, so I pedaled on to the next town while TJ waited in line for his burrito. Thank you. I never expect anybody to have like gluten-free options, but there's always something like sausage or bacon or something, which is great, but there's none of that here. So I am actually gonna ride, I think it's like 9 or 10 miles to the next town, and TJ's gonna stay here, wait in line, eat his breakfast, and then I'm gonna ride up and get mine, and he's gonna meet me there.
These are 100% Iowa sourced ingredients. We've got sausage, egg, what looks like spinach or kale, tomatoes, onions. Amazing. After eating possibly the best burrito ever, I hopped back on the bike to head to the next town to find TIMECODE. It's been quite a bit more hilly since we left that first town. This has been the most glorious downhill. I haven't pedaled in like a quarter of a mile.
I just got here to Algona, I think is the way you say it. So 2 days behind me somewhere. Unfortunately, I haven't really seen any food options yet. So I may just be eating my snacks for a while. I was hoping to get something a little bit better, but we'll do what we can. I did cut my knuckle on my bike, putting it down. Other than that, I'm great. So we've knocked out 32 miles. It is 9:15 a.m. and I'm feeling great. This is awesome.
Well, what goes down must come up. This is one of the steepest hills so far. Should have known better when we came down that hill.
That's right, exactly. Oh, I do. Every time I come down a hill, it's like,
yeah.
This is gonna suck.
Yeah. I'm just gonna assume that I turn here. It's like a pretty good area. Found you.
Hey, how was your breakfast?
It was really good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm about to eat some breakfast.
I can't believe you haven't eaten yet.
I got a walking taco, which is like this nachos bag cut open with all the taco toppings on top of it. Never had one of these, but it looks great. And I already spilled the grease on my shirt. A taco at 9:45 in the morning has never tasted so good. I kinda gotta pee, but I have not seen a porta potty in either of the towns we've stopped in yet today. We'll ride fast to the next one, I guess. Stretching has literally never felt better than it does this week.
I didn't realize my muscles are so tight. We're gonna have to do the roller when we get to midtown.
Yeah, the roller.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
After a relaxing break and a good stretch, we were back on the road 17 miles to the next town of Wesley. Before we go any further, I want to explain the significance of what we're doing today, other than the fact that it's the furthest distance we've ever ridden it once before, and it's our first Century Day.
Day 4 is Century Day, which means that we're riding over 100 miles.
To do this, we need to go all the way back before we were alive to the Des Moines Register in August of 1973. At the Register worked a few gentlemen who worked on a crazy project that would take them from one side of Iowa to the other by bicycle to write columns on their experience for the paper. They invited the general public to join them, and Ragbrai was born. So wait, why am I telling you this? Because one of those gentlemen was John Karras, who was notorious for including a Century Day in the ride as part of the planned route. Eventually, instead of making the 100-mile route included in the ride, there became a Century Day option for riders to branch off and take a longer route before meeting the rest of the ride in the next town. In 2021, Karras passed away at the age of 91, and as a fitting tribute, Ragbrai included Century Day once again in the planned route for all riders to enjoy. Alright, now back to the Century Day. Oh my goodness. Starting to get to a place where I'm like hitting a mental wall. It is 1000% because I have no freaking clue where TJ is, because he left me again. I'm just back here climbing hills by myself.
Rumble.
Rumble. That was by far the roughest rumble. The wind is right in our face. Right now, in this very moment, is not a good time. Somewhere between Algona and Wesley, the road ended. No, really, like literally ended.
I think there might be some left. Well, John, I'm sorry. We'll be careful. We're walking.
Just a little bit of road construction. Back on.
So that was a neat little adventure that we didn't expect. But before we knew it, we were in Wesley. We're rolling into Wesley pretty soon. All the towns are pretty well identified with, you might see a few buildings that you like closer together than we've been seeing. And some like grain silo things and a tree line. And most of the time, a water tower, but you can't always see those. However, they've got some encouraging signs put up, like things that say like, you got this. And I sure am glad and thankful since my own husband left me. And I'm just back here by myself, climbing up these hills. My riding buddy left.
Oh, don't mind me, I was just playing the world's smallest sympathy violin. Just kidding, I do feel a little bad for running off and leaving her, but we eventually caught up in the end. Back to the vlog.
Ooh, that's a really pretty church.
Alright, I think we're coming in to our next town, Wesley. Oh, this is a nice patch of grass here. I'm just gonna lay down for just a second. Mary Catherine went to go get some of the free watermelon that the sign says.
Do you have a couple dollars? Because the watermelon's free, but it's also a fundraiser you just donate to.
Oh, I wonder where the beer is.
Yes, thank you. That's good.
Wesley was a pretty cute little town. They had the best watermelon. That's some good watermelon. A pool, which was pretty awesome, and a DJ. They didn't really have any signs for drinks or anything, so we only stopped long enough for the watermelon.
All right, we just left Wesley. We're headed to the meeting town. It's about 10 miles in between. It's gonna be nice to get some lunch.
At this point, we were over halfway through our first Century Day ride and feeling pretty good.
We're pulling into Britt, which is the lunch town. Now we gotta find David. Hey, hey.
Made it.
Made it.
By now, we learned that we were a second half team and found out that PB&J was the perfect lunch to fuel our afternoon ride. My dad did admit to questioning whether or not we would make it through the week, but when we showed up in Britt still going strong, it restored his faith in us.
Mary Catherine realized that we don't ever vlog our lunch breaks, so she took out the camera and pointed it at me. This is about how it goes. Just rubbing some sunscreen in after I ate 3,000 calories.
Yeah, our lunch breaks have pretty much been come in, eat something pretty hearty, put more sunscreen on. Especially since I wrecked my bike, it's been get more ibuprofen and Tylenol and then hit the road again. After lunch, we set course to the next town of Klemme, roughly 16.5 miles away, which ended up being some of the most entertaining miles of the ride. We're coming into the last little town of the day before the sleeping town, and they've got jokes on these signs coming in, and some of them are funny. That last one said, "I sold my car but kept my bike because I didn't want to get car owner virus. My dog keeps chasing people on bikes." What's the sign say up here? "So I took his bike away." Oh, like the dog's on a bike.
What's the hardest part about learning to ride a bike? The pavement.
Why can't a bike stand up on its own? I don't know. I guess they just give you time to think about it. Maybe they're spaced out this far for the really fast riders. That's not us. Because it's too tired. TWO-TIRED. I don't get it. Why can't a bike stand up on its own? Oh, too tired. Like 2 tires. Oh, that's funny. When is a bicycle not a bicycle? When it turns into a driveway. I still don't see the town. We're gonna need some more jokes. What do you call a person who sells bikes? A spokesperson. That's funny. What do you call an artist who sculpts bikes? Cycleangelo. Instead of Michelangelo. Haha. That's funny. How did the barber win the bike race? He definitely rode faster than me. He took a shortcut. Thank you to the person who decided to put those signs out. 2 miles. So I feel like we all started this morning together because we got a long ways to go today, but we are really, really spacing out. We just hit 60 miles.
You said we just hit 16 miles?
60.
I
was vlogging.
I was about to say, what?
What? All right, we're stopping for TJ to adjust his seat.
I told her it'd be less than 5 minutes. I'm on the clock.
Bike on.
We drive past this kind of stuff all the time on the 50 state sewer. We're gonna have so much more appreciation. There comes a big truck. We're gonna have so much more appreciation for the countryside and the small towns and stuff now that we've biked every inch of it in Iowa.
This seriously looks like a postcard. Wow, we turn that corner and the wind just smacks you in the face. I get to this part every time and my legs want to give out. And we're not there.
I've never heard a wind turbine until just now. We were so close to that one. They're kind of freaky sounding.
While in Klemme, we fueled up with some snacks before heading out for our final 30-mile stretch to the overnight town of Mason City.
Oh, I definitely recorded all of that. That'll be an interesting time lapse. All right, last 30 miles. Let's go.
Oh, my legs. Can we go under that? Even with the microphone? It's gonna be amazing. Oh, yes. Wow, that was cool, literally.
The people standing on the side of the road with their water sprinklers, shooting water at the cyclists. Thank you so much. Y'all are freaking amazing. Oh my gosh, felt so good.
I always pause my workouts when we get to the towns and we stop, but I hit end instead of pause right back there, which really stinks. So I just had to start a new workout for the last 30 miles.
So that last town was much less crowded than normal because we're kind of at the end of the pack, I feel like. But we were ahead of the police officers clearing the town, so I think we're still doing pretty good on time.
All the towns are so cute. When you leave, they have signs like, hope you have fun, thanks for coming, thanks for visiting. 30 more miles, that's what the sign says. Actually, I'm counting down to 15 right now because that's where our favorite ice cream people are.
Ice cream.
They told us yesterday we'll be at mile 87. It's like perfect. We'll be there too. They're so nice and it's only $1. Of all the people riding, they remembered us from Monday to Tuesday. So nice. It's probably because I made a fool of myself dancing funny with the blow up thing. It was fun. Uh-oh, there are emergency vehicles up ahead. Cannot tell if there's an emergency or if they're directing traffic. We'll see. Been a lot of EMS vehicles today. I hope everybody's okay. We are 75 miles into today. And I cannot believe this, but I'm feeling really good. I feel like I've got another 28 miles in me, which is good because I don't have much of a choice. Look at TJ.
We're approaching mile 85. No, that's a lie. No, yeah, that's right. We're approaching mile 85 and we've got strong headwinds again.
Nothing kills my mental stamina faster and harder than a strong headwind.
Hate it.
I hate it so much.
We'll get through it.
Most of the cities have only been about 10 to 15 miles apart today, so the final 30 miles seemed pretty daunting. Luckily, we got to break it up with our new friends at our final stop. You know what time it is.
We finally made it to the pickle/ice cream stand, which is the halfway point between the last town that we're at and the overnight town. Whew, I'm running out of steam. Just a little secret between us and you. We may have both eaten 2 ice creams each. They're just so good. And we both at the same time thought, man, I wish I had another one.
And we've already ridden 88 miles today. We have 15 more.
Yeah, we need a little something extra to get us those 15 miles in. I swear, this place behind us with the pickles and the ice cream has been in the best place on the course every single day. It's like right in between the last like really good stop and you're in town. And so thank you, if you're watching this, for putting your little stand here where it needs to be when we need a rest. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
If you ever ride Ragbrai, just look for the green blow up thing. This place, seriously, I think they have the best prices and they have like exactly what you need. Hydration, they have pickles, they have chips and like granola bars and that sort of thing, and ice cream.
Here it comes.
We have made it to mile 88 of the 103 mile day. Actually, I don't know if this is 105 or 103. I've read different things that say one and something says the other. Anyway, we are not getting on that sag wagon is the point of what I was about to say. We've made it this far. We aren't stopping now. Once back on the road, the sun disappeared as storms were approaching.
You can't see it, but behind us, there's a storm coming in. We've got 15 miles until we get to the overnight city, which is Mason City. So we're trying to kick it in overdrive mode to beat this storm.
91 miles. Holy moly. This is nuts. That fact alone is giving me energy. Tonight, I think we're gonna get a shower. We had a shower Sunday night in the school gym there in Ida Grove. We would shower in the van, but we can't fill up with water. The overall vibe of the riders changed about 12 miles from the end. You can tell like everybody's gotten like a second wind, knowing that we're coming into town and we're almost done. The sun's off our back. There's storm clouds right at our back door, and we're closing in on 10 miles out of town. But I feel good right now, I do.
How's it going?
Great. How are you? Great. Everyone realized storms were coming in, but we were so close. We were going to make it. And with 93 miles behind us, the pace picked up as we closed in on Mason City.
It's starting to sprinkle on us, but we're so close. So close. We just officially crossed over 100 miles. Just a few more to go. I cannot believe we are doing this right now. Like, we passed 100 miles and we're still going. This is so awesome.
The awesomeness was short-lived once we realized we had gone over 2 miles out of the way, and understandably, emotions were high. We got 2 miles out of the way. 2 miles was nothing compared to the 105 we just rode, but it felt like everything at this point. Mason City was the largest we had been in yet, and the campsites were super spread out. We then biked the final 2 miles uphill and into the wind before reaching the van. Did it. Over 100 miles.
We made it.
105 miles.
Done.
In one day. And I feel good. I don't want to go any further, but I feel good.
Nope, the bikes are staying right there. No further until tomorrow morning.
I can't believe it.
That's one of those things that now that I've done it, I'll probably never do it again. I'm gonna sit down, but I'm afraid I might not be able to get up.
I can't believe we just did that. Right here on my hands probably hurts the worst. Feels like it's splitting from like holding onto my brakes with my fingers and like onto the handlebars with my thumbs, and I have no strength in my hands. It was really hard to open my chapstick earlier and stop the bike. Oh my gosh.
I could go another 100 miles. I'm just kidding.
Tomorrow we only have like 47. We'll be done before lunch. It's amazing. We're over halfway through with Ragbrai.
Yes, thankfully.
That's like really exciting and kind of sad at the same time. After putting the bikes up, my dad treated us to barbecue to celebrate the accomplishment, and we finished the night off with a hydro massage at the local gym. It was super great. I feel like a new person.
They have hydro massages here. I'm totally taking advantage of this massage bed.
Okay, today's recap. Today was absolutely incredible. My body hurts. I have like muscles that I didn't know I had. But overall, I am just so thankful. It hurts so good is what I would say. We saw a few other minor accidents. We did see the ambulances more today than any other day, and we saw the sag wagon more than any other day. It made me emotional driving past the wreck this morning, thinking like that easily could have been me the other day had there been people behind me, just like there has been so many times this week, like 90% of the time, because you can't stop a bike that fast. If somebody falls right in front of you, you're gonna run over them. And overall today, I'm just really, really proud of us. And so we're here, we're doing it, we're over halfway done, and I'm excited for the next 3 days. I'm just really thankful.
Alright, let's see here. Okay, today was tough. It's one of the toughest things that I've ever done. The things that made it tough were when we had headwinds like right in our face. It made it tough because it's like it just felt like you had to give it everything you had just to keep moving forward. When we got to the last town, I felt like a pinch in my knee getting worse. It would go away when I would cycle. But if I ever stopped for a moment, it would come back. One of the cool things, and you're out there in the middle of cornfields and you have a lot of time to think, the true specialness about Ragbrai comes from the people that you meet, whether it's on the road on a bike, or if it's support crew, or if it's the people of the town, the locals. Everyone just has like a genuineness about them, and I'm sure like all the endorphins and the excitement contribute, but it just seems like everyone's kind for the most part. There have been a couple people who are super serious. They like want to win Ragbrai or whatever, if that's even possible, and they'll tell you to get out of their way or move, or you're too close to the road or something like that. Not real nice about it, but I would say 97% of the people, even 98% of the people that we've come across and met and had the privilege to meet are incredibly nice, and they'll slow down and they'll have a conversation with you, and then they'll keep going, and so you just never know who you're gonna meet. I am super proud of Mary Catherine. She, after falling off her bike a couple days ago and just getting right back up and going, she has bruises all over her legs, and just being able to get out there and ride for 105 miles and still dance around and smile and have a good time and just have a good attitude about it. I am so proud of her, proud of us for doing it. I'm glad today's over. Don't know that I will do a 105-mile stint ever again, but now I can say I did it. All right, let's go to day 5.